Hi, I'm Chetna Makan here in the Food 52 studio, and today I am making coffee, chocolate and hazelnut baked Alaska. Mainly there are three components to this dish: a cake topped with some ice cream and then covered in beautiful meringue, and I am flavoring all three with different things, so when it comes together it's just amazing. So I'm going to start with the ice cream because that's going to take the longest, and for that I'm going to make a nice custard base. So I have got some milk here and some cream, and I'm just going to bring it to a boil. And while that's happening, I'm going to move on to the eggs. So I have got just some yolks here, and I'm going to whisk it with some sugar just until it's pale and fluffy. As the milk is heating up, I'm going to add the coffee into it, just some instant coffee, and just going to turn off the heat. I absolutely love coffee flavor in sweets. So once that has dissolved, I'm going to slowly pour it into the egg mix, little at a time, continually whisking, and add the whole thing in. And then all of this goes back in the pan to cook until it kind of is thick enough to coat the back of the spoon. You don't want it pasty custard, you just want a smooth, flowy custard. So I'm just going to sieve this in a clean bowl, and then it has to go in the fridge to cool down slightly before I put it in the ice cream maker. So this coffee custard has cooled down nicely, and I can move on to making the ice cream. And this could take anything between 20 to 30 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes and the ice cream has reached a soft serve kind of consistency, and I think that's perfect to transfer it into this bowl now. It needs to be set solid before we can move on to the assembly stage. You can't even try assembling the baked Alaska with such soft ice cream. So at this stage, you definitely need to let it sit and chill in the freezer for overnight or a good 6-7 hours. Make sure that you have lined the bowl with a couple of layers of plastic. Otherwise, it will be very tricky to get this out when you're trying to assemble the whole baked Alaska. I should seal it, cover it up a little bit. Now it's going to go into the freezer overnight. So while the ice cream is in the ice cream maker, I am going to get started with the cake. So it's a really simple, straightforward chocolate cake. So I've got softened butter, and I'm going to start with the butter first, just smoothing it out. And then I'm going to add some sugar. Just a minute to cream it through. Next, I'll add in the eggs. Once that is mixed, I'll add the rest of the bits. So some flour, a bit of baking powder, and the last thing that's actually going to make it a chocolate cake, some chocolate. Just using some melted dark chocolate and just bring it together. And that's it, the batter is ready. I have got an 8-inch cake tin, greased and lined. And then it's going to go in the oven for around 20 to 25 minutes. And now for the assembly. So our cake has cooled down, the ice cream has been in the freezer overnight, and whenever you're ready to eat, do this at that stage. Don't do it beforehand because it doesn't work. It needs to be done immediately just before eating. So I'm going to do the meringue. It's a simple, straightforward meringue, just some egg whites And gonna start whisking it until it forms soft peaks before we add in the sugar. Only start adding the sugar a little at a time, first of all, and only once it's reached the soft peak stage. If you add sugar before that, it's going to be a runny meringue, which is not going to work. So get to that stage and slowly add the sugar. And also going to add a pinch of cream of tartar just to help stabilize the meringue. And once you can see it's glossy, I'm going to add half of these roasted chopped up hazelnuts. And that is ready to go on the ice cream. So here is the cake. And here is the ice cream, and that's why we put a couple of layers of cling film. Before I put this on the cake, I'm just going to flip the cake over just so that we have a nice flat surface in here, and then we add the ice cream. And then we just spread the meringue on top and on the sides. So you want to try and seal the ice cream and the cake. If you don't seal the cake will burn. Obviously, if you don't seal the ice cream, you know what's going to happen. I don't need to tell you that. Then I'm going to try and spread it out. There you go. And now when it goes in the oven, it's on really high heat because we want some color on the meringue. You can use a piping bag and make all sorts of designs. You can kind of make roses and go crazy. You could take a back of the spoon, or this is fine as well. And then you have to rush this part because we all know why. So, and then I've got some more hazelnuts because hazelnuts and meringue, actually any kind of nuts, almonds on meringues, lovely. So putting it in the oven for 7 minutes, and I'm not going to be leaving and going anywhere. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this. And here it is already. And now it's a moment of truth. I'm going to slide in and cut a lovely slice. It is quite an impressive thing to bring to the table after a meal. You've prepared everything beforehand. You're just putting it together and bringing it straight to the table. And here, look at that. Lovely chocolate cake, coffee ice cream, and a hazelnut meringue. Ooh. 3 delicious flavors together on this plate. And the ice cream hasn't melted. The meringue is cooked beautifully. And we have this delicious baked Alaska ready. And obviously, I have to try this. French fries. That is such an unusual combination. It's a really light sponge, beautiful smooth ice cream, and obviously a fantastic light meringue. You can find this recipe on Food 52. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Food with Chetna. Hope you will enjoy this recipe, and I will be back next month with another delicious bake just for you. I'm very excited to bring you my new book, Chetna's Easy Baking with a Twist of Spice. My last few books have been all about Indian food, whether it's street food, healthy food, or quick Indian food. So I'm so delighted to get back to baking, and this book is packed with easy, as the name suggests, simple baking recipes. And if you have tried any of my recipes in the past, you know I want to keep it simple. I want you guys to be able to make it at home and enjoy it with your family and friends. And that's exactly what I've done with this book, trying to bring you just nice, lovely bakes and just added a little twist and something new to those bakes.